Man, the last 48 hours has been really hectic for me, especially behind the scenes. On one hand, I'm still getting in playtime with the Worldslayer content, build crafting, farming, creating content, and in general, yeah, I'm still enjoying it. Also, with the success of Outriders, my community Discord server has been steadily growing, now flirting with 4,500 members strong for Outriders alone, and yeah, that requires a lot of tending to and monitoring to keep it all on track. But, and you knew there was going to be a but that would be tacked somewhere into this intro, I've been getting a lot of DMs and even some public statements and discussions being made in our discussions channels about the modding issue, especially this high-profile case now made ever so public over on Reddit. What's going on, everybody? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and I've been weighing whether or not to post my reactions to this one, but in the end, I've decided to upload. And this was down entirely to the fact that almost everything for this particular case has been aired already in public. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you will in a moment. But before we begin, I wanted to again thank you from the bottom of my heart for your continued support, as the channel has now eclipsed the 92,000 subscriber mark and 100,000 subs is now in sight. In case you aren't yet a sub, please smash that big, beautiful subscribe button for more intensive Outriders content, and don't forget to ring the bell to receive all my future upload notifications. There's a lot here, so let's get started. Okay, so quick recap here. This is all centered around a YouTube content creator named LaserBolt, who is also part of the Outriders Ambassador program, of which I too am a member. And just for the record, I've not spoken with LaserBolt directly, and I don't watch his content. That's not a diss in any way, but I'm really time limited, so watching YouTube doesn't fit into my IRL schedule. Anyways, this Reddit post from 2 days ago is really the shot heard round the world, and here it is with the title reading, quote, "How does LaserBolt get rolls like this? Mine is always static with Judgment Enforcer and Clip Combustion." And as you can see, there is a legendary Torment and Agony with Mage's Rage, First Things First, and Death Renome. These are all like the perfect mods. This is the god roll weapon, but the issue here is that this is impossible to achieve on a legendary, simply because the first two mods for the Torment and Agony always, and I want to repeat that word, always come as Judgment Enforcer and Clip Combustion. You see, the first two mods are always static, meaning they're never going to change, and that holds for every legendary in the game. And then, if the item is Apocalypse tier, and only then will attack on a third randomized mod that could be anything from the APOC mod loot pool. So this image here is very sus. Fast forwarding to yesterday, and as you can imagine, the comment section gets going a bit on this one, especially since this is Reddit we're talking about. And if you know, you know. But then the Arkan from Square Enix Outriders community team responded with a wall of text to this original post, and this is where it gets interesting. As if having a completely impossible and modded to hell and back Torment and Agony wasn't interesting enough, hopefully you're able to read all the clues as to how I land with all of this. Anyways, so let's read through the highlights of the Arkan's response, and as always, I will leave a link to this Reddit thread in the video description and pinned comments below. Hey folks, I understand the frustration here and appreciate the desire to see something done. On the other hand, the sub is currently skating over witch hunting territory, so I do want to point out that such topics need to be dealt with carefully and with consideration. While I will take the time to look into this, I won't be putting anyone on public trial, especially considering that I count at least one outraged person, not an ambassador, in this thread who is equally guilty of using unorthodox methods to get ahead in the game. Now, just breaking from his words, that last bit was directed at the thread OP, who was also found using external means to get max character stats. Continuing on, the Arkan states, first things first, there are of course a bunch of big no-nos, including but not limited to anyone caught using third-party programs, aka cheats, will be expelled from the ambassador group, as has happened in the past. Anyone exploiting players and or charging players based on fraudulent information will be expelled. Proven theft of other people's content is also something that would be taken very seriously and would require some amount of explaining and investigation. Again, just being transparent here, I don't know LazerBolt, but overall this is not a good look for the Ambassador program if he was or is participating in any of these described possible offenses. Third-party hacks or cheats, bad. Exploiting or charging players based on fraudulent information, even worse. And theft of other players' content. As someone that has been grinding YouTube for years now, this one stings just to hear it. Pirating content, so grabbing someone else's blood, sweat, and tears and claiming it as your own is just not right. You should at least try to reach out to the content creator themselves, show them respect and ask for their permission ahead of time, and then you could at least give them a shout out during the video explaining the agreement and thanking them for the use of their content. Now, this doesn't happen nearly enough, but in an ideal world, that is the way it should work. Now, here's where the Archon breaks it down on a granular level, and I've read through this entire response, and I'm going to weigh in once I get through all of this wall of text. Now, here's what he says. Let's say for the sake of argument that LazerBolt acquired items such as this particular torment and agony through in-game exploits that he was aware of, that no third-party tools were used, but this torment and agony is the result of a whole bunch of manually crashing, force closing the game at awkward moments to end up with something unusual. Sounds familiar. All right, I'm going to break from this. I know I said I would wait to sound off, but just no. Now, maybe I am naive and don't know the latest and greatest ways to make this possible, but at least from my knowledge of Outriders, this is not possible by manually crashing the game. This is a static mod legendary item. You can force close the game from now until Sunday, but each and every time you reopen the game, that Torment and Agony pistol will be staring you right back in the face with Judgment Enforcer and Clip Combustion. Am I wrong here? Am I way off course? Is there a known way outside of using external software to get a static legendary piece of gear to roll with non-static mods in the first and second slots? If I am, let me know in the comment section below. Alright, so let me pull back just a little bit here. Let's try and keep this one moving forwards. And a few paragraphs later, there's more to the Archon's response. He says, off the top of my head, here is a list of known exploits that were promoted by multiple creators or ambassadors, including those of good standing. And he's got a list here. Reset your PC clock to refresh vendor's special offer exploit. I didn't even know about that one. Force close game to refresh quest rewards exploit. Okay. Earthborn gear god roll exploit. That they patched out of the game a long time ago. Force close on crafting exploit. Again, not part of the game. Skip a new character to endgame and Tiago to exploit resource scaling. Okay. APOC tiers leveling exploit. I've heard of that one. Final Arbiter retries exploit. Yes, it's an exploit. I disagree. And Boulder Dash exploit, which basically allows Devastators to one-shot pretty much everything in the game. Yeah, I can see that needs attention. Now, he also states such exploits all have the same effect. They allow players to skip content. This is done by either skipping levels or cutting short time, such as by almost instantly providing players with items content that would otherwise only be available through a longer RNG grind. Okay, how much longer can the APOC grind be in Worldslayer? Okay, yeah, what I'm thinking here is that we have a case of comparing apples to oranges. These are all mechanics that were found baked into the game. Force closing for a new mod roll is no longer a thing because Worldslayer squashed that with APOC gear that you don't raise rarity on. APOC tier leveling, Final Arbiter retries, and Boulder Dash. I mean, yeah, these are all in the game due to the way the game was coded. I'm still shocked by that reset your PC clock to refresh vendor special offers. Not that I want to try that, but How in the hell did someone figure that one out? Okay, anyways, let's get back on topic and let me provide my take on all of this. That entire list of what are considered exploits are or have been in the game for a very long time. They are known and they've not been addressed. Using external modifications to take weapons that don't allow for non-static drops to all of a sudden hit with a trio of god roll mods you would never be able to see on the weapon is something entirely different. Again, I see where the Archon is going with this, essentially stating, let he who is without sin cast the first stone, meaning, yeah, those that are making the accusations are just as guilty of using these exploits as LaserBolt. But after looking this over again and again, I can see the intent, like I said, but the execution and connecting of the offenses are just not there. Known in-game mechanics versus external software modifications, different ballparks entirely. Now, I'm paraphrasing a bit here to keep the video shorter, but it goes on to discuss things like content creation, being a slave to the YouTube algorithms for views, my words, not the exact article text, and also being too hasty with the hammer to ambassadors catering to this style of content. And there's also some positive words towards the ambassador program, and then mentions of the investigation and that the results and any repercussions would most likely be handled privately. Oh, and by the way, look at this. While I was scripting this video, I received another DM with a pic containing LaserBolt's logo and what looks like an epic set of boots with 3 tier 3 mods on them, which, just like that Torment and Agony pic, is impossible to achieve in the game. The most you could get is a tier 3 mod in the APOC slot and then mod one of the top 2 mods to a tier 3 mod, but you can't get 3 tier 3 mods on epics. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm not in the know about this, but yeah, you understand what I'm saying here. Overall, I applaud the Archon for this explanation. It wasn't required, but he did it anyways, and went into specifics, which, although I feel were not applicable during the known exploits section, was still well worded. Now, in terms of where this one goes, I won't be posting any more content concerning this matter because, in all honesty, I really don't care for the topic. I'm more annoyed by the possibilities of charging players to assist them in this cheating endeavor, and also using other content creators' hard work as his own. Again, at this point, these are all allegations. I'm not investigating the matter, and I won't be, so I don't know and or care if this will ever be proven out. Now, I know things could get pretty spicy in my comment section, so before I go, please keep it professional. There are ways to keep it civil and still get your points across. Slander, profanity, and so on, it just isn't needed. I think we can all see what is going on here. I mean, the evidence is there in public. What happens with the content in question and LaserBolt's ambassador status is something I guess we're going to find out in the future. Until then, I'm going to keep my gameplay and characters natural, and I'm going to keep streaming and enjoying Outriders as I have since I first cast an ability during the open beta. Don't forget to smash that big, beautiful subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date on all my latest uploads. If you could take a few seconds more to rate and or share this video, it would be greatly appreciated. Remember that you can find and follow me on Twitch as I stream Outriders weekly. You can also find me on Twitter, posting my thoughts on most things gaming related. And of course, you are all welcome to join my community Discord server, which has an incredibly vibrant and helpful Outriders community. As I mentioned earlier, now nearly 4,500 Outriders strong. We've got LFG channels, voice chat rooms for real-time comms, and tons of Outriders resources in place to assist you. Just check in the video description for an open Discord invite link, and while you're at it, give me a follow on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Links to all my socials in the video description below. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.